Yeah, I'm sorry. Next, we have Heather Splendors, Vice President of America First South Central. With a credit union career spanning 31 years, Heather Splendors now serves as Vice President of South Central branches at American First. Other positions she held include Mortgage Processing Manager, Manager to the Central Branch Training Department, Loan Portfolio Manager, Branch Market Manager, Assistant Branch Market Manager, and more. She is honored to have received the America First Service Award in 2005 and 2006. Service Star twice, and the organization's Distinguished Leadership Award in 2025. As a graduate of the Western CUNA Management School in 2008, Heather was named a Zetitas Officer for 2 years. In 2009, she was invited back by WCMS faculty to serve as a first-year class graduate assistant. Heather represents America First from the Utah Credit Union Executive Society as the chair, previously serving as vice chair. She lives in Western Utah with her partner Mike and has one son, Kaya. Outside of work, Kelly loves traveling, summer camping, and spending time with her dogs, Isabel and Kelly.
Mary Crafts, owner of Mary Crafts Inc. Mary Crafts is quite simply a living legend. As the founder of Culinary Crafts, Utah's largest off-premises catering company and 28-time winner of Best of State, Mary has created thousands of impressive events throughout the state for over 40 years. Mary is a masterful caterer and businesswoman who served thousands of clients, including many A-list celebrities, Oprah Winfrey and Sir Elton John, for example. 2 presidents of the United States and hundreds of Fortune 500 companies. During the 1980s and 90s, Mary hosted a cooking show on PBS that established her reputation as a food celebrity in Utah. Mary's involvement in the humanitarian area, business networks, and education has put her in the spotlight as one of Utah's most influential women. Mary has received over 60 awards as a businesswoman and as an empowerment icon. In 2018, she sold her company to her children and launched Mary Crafts Inc. As a speaker, author, influencer, podcaster, life coach, fitness guru, and healer. Mary accomplished another of her major life goals at 65 when she summited maximum jar. She was recently awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award by International Caterers Association and the 2026 Entrepreneur of the Year by Mountain West Capital Organization. Mary is thrilled to share her hard-won life lessons with others, as only she can. With her badass attitude and loving heart of oneness, at age 72, life has just begun.
Dave Sutter, co-founder of Liusey Technologies. Dave Sutter studied international law and diplomacy at Brigham Young University. He went on to manage the national tour for Warner Miller Entertainment's annual steep production, an experience he counts among the most memorable of his career. David later owned and operated alongside his brothers a premier big game hunting ranch in Montana before serving as a White House appointee and U.S. diplomat at the U.S. Department of State. The serial entrepreneur is launched and led ventures across diverse industries, most recently as a founding partner at LBT, of the leading security technology company. He served on the boards of Incovat, Tennis Outdoor Gear, and Credible Medical Technologies. Beyond his professional pursuits, David is passionate about family. He finds his greatest choice and the outdoors with his wife and 4 children.
Let's please welcome our first presenter of the night, Burden.
And side goes the you can sit down a little bit. Okay, then we saw that.
Okay, hello, my name is Braden Hammer. I'm the owner and operator of HSR Adapters business, where I make custom phone scope adapters for spotting scopes, binoculars, unit management. Super cool. But what was my why? Why did I start doing this? Well, in December 2024, I got a spotting scope and was looking at the market, and nobody made an affordable option for digiscoping. Digiscoping, for those who don't know, being able to take pictures through spotting scoping. It's pretty cool. So, well, how did I come up with this design? I started working on different designs, and it's been a fun project. It's as simple as make sure I know what optic you have. They're made out of nylon material, so they're squishy. Then that makes it so they're easy on the eyepieces. It also makes it so my tolerances are nice. Second, metal plate for back your phone. And then you can now take pictures like these ones. So squirrels, whenever you're sitting out and trying to teach the family how you see animals far off and you're trying to teach them. 3-year-old trying to find squirrels, birds, traveling. So not wrestling this year. One bird jumping off the tree, and then turkey gobbling. Pheasants, deer super close and super far. The one on one side is a mile away, the other one's at 40 yards. And the moon. The moon. I've also been able to make rifoscope ones. I've also made spacers so that the cameras with the phones with the big so I've set up teams and that they've worked with us. So what the market is basically, you're at the show that I come at a price point of $40. It cost me $3 to make them, and so I make a very good profit on them, but it's still affordable for people to afford to do it. Future plans, I continue to work on working on everything from marketing. Sorry, it's been word of mouth and Facebook Marketplace ad, and I've sold close to 2 million units there, and so it's been pretty successful in that case. And then future plans: get an Etsy page up, Amazon Handmade, Liusey, and then working on a website. Still haven't done that. And then also I'm planning on serving a religious service mission. And I leave in June, and I'm currently training my sister to take over the business and know all the ins and outs of this very complex business. So, judges, what questions you can set for me?
Oh, there we go. As far as marketing, what do you think, I mean, long-term at scaling this business, where is your primary focus going to be?
It's going to be marketing. I haven't done any marketing other than word of mouth, but I've been successful in the small stock. And I do see that as everything keeps scaling up and as competition comes out, that as long as I keep making a good product, keep good customers should invest.
And how are you priced compared to your competitors?
Most competitors are anywhere from $80 to $200 per single system. And it makes it a lot of the time is not affordable for a high school student to do that, or somebody who can come and do that.
Do you have a patent for your design?
So patents are weird. They're super expensive, and somebody can come in and change one thing. They can change how the bumpers are lined up, and that completely voids the patent. And the patent really gives you the right to sit. That's about it. And so currently I'm working on being the first one out there that's making these custom ones that I can go all the way down to 50-year-old Leopold's spine scopes that nobody makes it for. And so that's the awesomeness of being a custom one.
Is your target audience on the ones that you sold so far?
A lot of hunters. And so a lot of hunters and just outdoor enthusiasts.
Where are you manufacturing this product?
In my bedroom. I promise it's Santiago.
Okay, but obviously that's something I do with much trash.
So I 3D print them. So they're 3D printed. And so with that, I've been able to, I currently have 2 printers, and it's very easy to make a print farm. If I ever does scale, I can go and buy 6 more printers, and that ups my production about 6 times.
Thank you, Brayden. Amazing show. Our next presenter is Liusey.
All right, so I would like to start us off with a quick live demonstration for the judges. So this is my product right here. It's called Forge Fit Hoodies. So it's a completely solid resistant material you can put into any pre-resisting hoodie or order a hoodie with this. It also can be put with gloves and many other items for workwear and all. Here's a quick demonstration. So just like that, this has been specifically what's it called? Exposed and cut 5 times prior to this to show you how durable long-term this material can be. So this is currently stitched in hoodie I'm wearing. And if you look at it, completely movable, just like normal hoodie would be, you still have that full range of motion. And that's super important for anyone in the woodworking field. So yeah, Forge creates a durable, functional, and super good design for any makers, DIYers, construction workers, police, military vehicles. Our goals is once I've gotten my design down and fully refined to start manufacturing them, 20 to 30 woodworkers or hobbyists can pick them up at a time pretty easily with doing small manufacturing batches. Let's see. Produce and sell the first 300 to 500 within the first 12 to 24 months. And once I'm done with R&D, I've got a patent right now as well. I'm not patent pending. And then, what's on? Break even by selling 450 hoodies. If I don't get the seed money, if I do, I won't need to do that. And then building small online audience of thousands to anywhere above that for following, just help to push the product itself. So some long-term goals, 1 to 2 products like gloves, seating, stuff like that to add just more protection to your daily wear that can prevent injuries. And then sell it to 2,000 to 3,000 thoughts per year. Partner with any small retailers, maker supply stores, and then grow to follow the account as well. Instagram and TikTok, anything like that, just to help push the product. And that's a super cheap and easy way to do it. And then reach a yearly revenue of 250 to 300,000 by the 3 to 5 year goal. I've estimated if I can push this product, it can be much larger than that, from $1 million to 20. So very large land of value in this. Why Forge Fit stands out because it combines functionality, durability, and cost. So it's a lot cheaper to buy one of these than go up and pay for $100,000 surgery to get your arm raised as an optimally separately. Our swan analysis is strengths, unique, durable hoodie. There's nothing like this on the market. All of the chainsaw resistant stuff you'll find 20 to 11 to 20, 30 layers for that protection. This is a lot better than anything else you can find. Well, functional, non-movable, completely customizable as well on the customer's end. Once we get it, obviously full manufacturing. It's also the niche. It's for anyone that like DIYers, woodworkers, you name it, anyone with the saw. Weaknesses, higher product costs. So this is upload from my last one. I've gone with product with find enough for the only key around the same price as your average color or jacket or SARS and stuff. Most products would be $180. I need one for $140 to $100. Yeah, opportunities, any DIY makers, anyone like that, YouTubers, influencers, your spouse. You don't want anyone getting injured, especially if doing a project at home. It's a super big thing that can happen if they're watching a YouTube video, slip up and make a mistake. It's better than a rush to emergency room and have instead protection to take care of it. Threats, competitors from major brands like Carhartt, Dixie's, and it's a cheaper alternative to supply chain issues, copycat products. That's why I got a patent, because it isn't self-enforcing, but it's better than nothing to add that extra layer of defense against people trying to copy. Another deterrent. Manufacturing. So I found 2 manufacturers, one in Iowa and one in Vietnam. The one in Vietnam, $15 per unit to meet my specific specifications. Sold for $120, $105 profit per hoodie. If I did in the US, it's about $20. I can upcharge it because of that US price tag, just having that name US made in there. I also depend on totally where the product's at, whether that's even worth doing. Because this is something that most Americans, I would like to have this in their wardrobe so they're able to protect themselves. And then, so reasoning to save human limbs or after like a minor injury, it's a lot easier not to go to an operating room than have to get stitches, staples, glue, any of that put together. Have to go under for surgery and not have to pay for the insurance and medical bills afterwards. So avoiding that is super, super necessary. And then this is a quote from a woodworker that I met who did cabinets in Bountiful. And it is, I used to skip protection gear because it felt unnecessary until I got hurt and realized how preventable it was and how I'm out of a job, or now I'm out of a job. So he's retired now because he cut his own lawn fully. So this is anyone younger, you're not allowed to close your eyes for sure, or anyone that's super sensitive to blood. Just quick warning, same with anyone on the live stream. So this is a severed hand from being hit with a miter saw. And could have been completely prevented with a product like this. And then would you be able to open this link? Okay. Well, if not, are you? Yeah. Okay, sorry. I don't know what's this computer. Here. Just copy and paste it into Google or something. Sorry. Material. So we'll start doing questions while I'll figure this out.
Yeah, and just cool. So is the secret to it the material, the proprietary aspect? Is it the material that you're putting in the yarn?
Yes, so I've refined what pre-existing products there are to a point where it's completely irrecognizable to what already exists. There's tons of chainsaw resistant fancy stuff. They're super heavy. They give you like very, very little mobility. And they're also not fully protected, unlike this, which covers an entire arm and still has that complete functionality of motion.
So 2 questions. Could you put it into a John Wick suit?
Absolutely.
And could you put it into your actual hoodie to keep from getting your head chopped off?
Yes, yeah, you could definitely. So, I'll give this to you really fast. So with my patent, I have a provisional patent, so I have a lawyer drop everything. And in that, I did gloves, the specific material, and then also covering the full body. That way, it's covering the specific target areas where you could have severe injury. A John Wick suit would be pretty cool. I'm talking about that. They show it for lights. Yeah. So it's also knife resistant. So that way, if you're being stabbed, you're able to block it. So that's where, at least in military, it falls into something they might want.
Along with the same line, I was curious, total addressable market for this woodworkers, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
But are there other applications in PPE or motorcycle protection and other things that you can explore?
So I have actually done all the research into motorcycles, stuff like that from recommendations from other people. And so the problem with motorbike crashes, you're rolling as you're moving. That skinning creates friction, which burns with Kevlar, leaving you with third-degree burns, severe road rash. You can be severely injured in that as well. This will add an extra layer of padding, and the way it works, just like how a saw has teeth, when you saw, this fiber will catch and stop you from sliding forward instead of being dragged out 30 feet after crashing. So it could prevent severe injury in motorbikers. And then any construction workers and most hobbyists will want something like this because no one wants a one-armed husband or their husband's missing a few fingers because they were in the North or white. Either way, whoever's doing that type of work.
Maybe one more question.
Yeah.
You saw someone a severed hand, and he said, "You put this in your arms and in gloves." But what about the hand that riddled?
Where that was severed was right here, and the glove will cover all the way back to the sleeve. And then I'm also planning to work on a bird in the middle, all being one piece.
Thank you.
Do you want to watch the video really fast? This is Forge Fit in action. The piece of cherry wood. Give us all go straight through it. Sure. So that is the exact same piece of wood that we cut up there and the exact same piece of material. I've used that same piece 5 times. It hasn't made it through any of the 3 layers. So it's super resistant to long-term bugs. So it's going to be, when you're going to fill, if that hits you, it's just that blunt force, not the cutting of your skin. which shouldn't be able to sever anything. It should just be like a small glue.
Thank you. That hoodie is absolutely incredible. Our next presenter is Connor Hamilton.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Connor Hamilton, and I'm the owner and founder of Uptown Vintage. Uptown Vintage was started in September of 2024 to make vintage clothing affordable and accessible. We focus on competitive pricing, quality vintage pieces, and unique styles to fit every one of our customers' personal tastes. In the world of clothing right now, there's three main problems. Number one is that fast fashion being produced by companies like Shein and Zara is flooding the market and causing excessive textile waste to end up in our landfills, which hurts our environment. Number two is that boutique vintage shops often resell the exact same pieces that I sell at a much higher premium. And because of this, students in high school college like me are unable to afford the quality vintage clothing they deserve. Our solution is an online and in-person pop-up vintage store that curates high-quality vintage clothing at a much more affordable cost. So looking at some of our numbers for the last year and a half of business, Uptown Vintage has generated over $15,000 in revenue on over 1,000 total items sold, which is netted us just over $8,000 in profit. Currently, we buy our pieces on average for just over $3, and our average earnings per sale after taxes and fees is sitting just above $15. We're also currently registered as a sole proprietary as well as a top seller on your number one platform, Depot. So next, I want to talk a little bit more about how I actually run the business. So step number one for us is sourcing. Most of our inventory comes from a Goodwill outlet here in Salt Lake City, where we purchase vintage clothing anywhere from $1.80 to $2 per pound. This gives us a major cost advantage over our competition. We also source locally at thrift stores like DI and Savers, as well as through online auction sites like Whatnot, where we use promo and discount codes to further lower our cost of goods. Once our inventory is purchased, we move on to listing. Once our inventory is sourced, all items are washed, and then we pair high-quality photos with keyword-rich descriptions and titles to get our vintage clothing in front of as many eyes as we can. Once a listing is created, we import it into our processing software, where we can then easily bulk post all of our listings across all of our different selling platforms. Currently, we sell on Depop, eBay, Poshmark, and we also very recently opened our own website using Shopify. Once an order is placed, all orders are shipped out within 1 to 2 business days, and once an order is delivered, I follow up personally with every single customer over VM to make sure they're satisfied with their order, as well as to encourage them to leave a review on our page. On our number one selling platform, Depop, we currently have an 5-star rating on over 900 total sets. So up here, you can see some of our exact products and what we like to price at. As you can see, we like to keep our pricing very competitive compared to both the modern and vintage markets, typically pricing between $10 to $40 to keep our clothing accessible to as many people with as many budgets as possible. Of course, these prices typically vary with category and exact needs. So looking at our target market, currently our target market consists of high school and college students aged 14 to 26. They're looking for a cheaper alternative for high-quality clothing. On our main selling platform, Depop alone, there are over 45 million registered users, and a staggering 90% of those users fall into our target age range of 14 to 26. Of course, not all of these buyers are looking for the exact same type of clothing, so we try to stock a wide variety of styles to curate to as many of those customers as we can. We also know that our target market is huge on social media, so we try to have a big social media presence, and we've been gaining a great following recently. Recently, we just hit 5,000 followers on Instagram, and we also post regularly on TikTok. Through that recent growth, and for doing competitions like this, I've recently been able to close an influencer and content marketing deal with a company called Startup. Startup is an app that helps resellers like me by using AI to help price and list items across multiple marketplaces. I make content that promotes their brand, and then they pay me a base commission so we can both grow both ship and brands. Looking at some of our competition up here, you can see some of my competition listed. Over the last decade or so, vintage clothing has become a huge trend, and many companies have tried to take advantage of this. We make our competitive advantage clear by sourcing more intentionally and by sourcing cheaper, so we can better curate affordable vintage clothing for our clients. Looking into the future of Uptown in the next coming months, our number one goal is to increase the amount of items that we process per month. Over the last year and a half of running Uptown Vintage, I've noticed a pretty direct correlation between the amount of items that I list and the amounts that I sell. And that number is typically around 70 to 80%. So essentially, the more items that I can list, the more items I can sell. The number one way I want people to do this is by getting my foot in the door with vintage wholesale. The reason I haven't been able to do this yet is because MLQs are typically very high for the first purchases for a high quality wholesaler like I'm looking for. And that's what prize money would be very useful for. I also want to bring on more people to help automate that process and ultimately increase the amount of items that I can list per month and eventually sell. Our other goal in the short term is to expand our website traffic. Since our website is fairly recent, I haven't had a whole lot of sales, but I want to start moving more of our traffic over to our website so we can avoid third-party selling fees on sites like Depop and eBay, and ultimately give our customers a lower price and still make the same amount of money. In the midterm going into the summer, the number one goal is to do more pop-up and local events. I've been able to do a few of these, and I've been very successful at all of them, typically making around $300 to $500 at each of these events alone. So my goal is to do 3 to 4 of these per month, so ultimately add another $1,500 to $2,000 in gross revenue per month on top of our online sales. In the long term, the ultimate goal is to open up a physical storefront somewhere in Utah or Salt Lake Valley. This is Uptown Vintage, quality vintage for all. Thank you.
So I know a little bit about this market because my granddaughter's saying I go thrifting every week.
Yeah.
But I wonder online, we would just locally get a store.
Right.
What about people who want to return to that? How are you handling these returns? How are you get us handling customer service? I mean, you follow up, but it's very labor intensive to do that.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
there are people that haven't learned their products and maybe see it. What about refunds? What's up? I want to know about that.
Right. So currently I have a template that I use that I'm able to bulk send to all orders once they're delivered. And throughout my time selling on over 1,000 orders, I've had less than 10 people who have wanted to return items. And typically that's some things that I miss. Of course, I'm human. I make mistakes. Sometimes there's stains or rips that I miss. If it's something that's on my part, I issue them a full refund and then I pay for them for a shipping label to send it back. And then I typically then send them a discount code for 50% off and then invite them if they're ever interested to use that discount code on other items in the shop. And then I promise to make sure that I make sure the item is 100% as described and they receive the fit and value that they want.
Seems kind of labor intensive. Who's helping them?
It is. So currently I am running this business all by myself. A lot of this is just in my downtime after school. I have a lot of time after my school and my tennis practice where I'm just sitting around and I put as much of my time into this as I can. And it's really that personalized experience that I want to emphasize with each of my buyers. And currently right now, I'm at a point where I'm able to keep up with all those direct messages and following up with all those customers. And that's why I also want to bring on more employees as I scale so they can also handle requests and DMs and things like that.
Like you'll send them.
But it's just to ask that, do you like have the quality of the item? You said you guarantee, but is it like a 30-day guarantee? How long are you willing to let someone test the merchandise?
Right. So vintage clothing is typically made with much higher quality material than we see fast fashion from places like Shein and Zara. So on all the third-party selling platforms that we have right now, they usually have a time frame in there where buyers can request a return. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, our return rate is very low, and I try and handle those as quickly and efficiently as I can.
How do you define vintage? How old does it have to be, or how is that defined?
Right. So vintage clothing, I know my parents often, they're like, oh, that's not like really vintage. So vintage is defined as anything made 20 years ago or earlier. And I like to specialize in clothing that was made from the 80s to the early 2000s, typically in streetwear, sportswear, and through workwear with jeans and pants and things like that. How are you doing all this?
Wow, that was amazing. True vintage fashion. Thank you, Connor. Next is Justin Flores.
Hello guys, my name is Justin Flores, and I am the founder of Apex City Systems. Before I tell about my company, I want to show you the exact moment where a barbershop either makes money or loses it.
Hello, thank you for calling the break plan. Okay, look.
Hey, I was wondering if you guys had any been with the league today for exam.
Hey, yeah, I can help you with that. What time are you thinking? Sunshine that and got it about 3:30 and 4:15 p.m. Okay, that's which one works better for you? 3:30 p.m. looks like perfect. I bet you both for 3:30 today. Okay, right?
Now, that sounded like a normal front desk call, but for most barbershops and salons, that call never happens because they're usually too busy to pick up the phone. For barbershops and salons, every missed call equals lost revenue. Let's take a salon, for example. If they miss just 3 calls a day at around $80 per appointment, that is $230 lost every day, over $7,000 a month. And that is happening every day in this barbershops and salons. Let's say, for example, a customer calls to ask questions, check availability, and book, but the owner is usually too busy with the client. So the call goes unanswered, and then what happens? That client often goes somewhere else. The business not just misses the call, but it misses the appointment, it misses the sale, and oftentimes it misses a repeat customer. And this is a constant leak in revenue. Now, I want to go back to your call you heard at the beginning. That was not a receptionist. That was not an adult. That was Apex. My AI handled that entire conversation. It made sure that it answered the call, it booked the appointment, and handled the questions the customer had, and if anything, it could also manage their schedules. And most importantly, this business model actually makes businesses more money. If it's just one missed call, that could be $2,400 a month for that business. That's why this is not just a tool. It's a revenue system. It's an investment. I currently have 7 clients. 6 are live and paying, and 1 is currently on board. And what's even more attractive is that I've acquired 5 of those clients in just 1 week. That tells me something really important. The market is responding. The demand is there. These are not just people saying they hear sound click. These are real clients deciding to use Apex because they see the value. And that proof is already turning into revenue. Currently, Apex is generating $1,782 per month. On top of that, I've already collected $2,100 in setup revenue. Once that one onboarding client was live, my revenue increases to $2,079 per month. And remember, guys, my revenue only grows because I help my clients grow theirs. If I help a shop recover costs and retain customers, then paying for Apex becomes a no-brainer. From here, the model goes simple. Every new client adds monthly recurring revenue. So as the clients stack, the revenue stacks. I've already proved that I can build a system and then clients. Now, it's just about regaining the process. My strategy is simple. Repeat what works. Keep proving myself through results and testimonials. Then, acquire more clients through referrals, demos, and intros. And lastly, make onboarding faster and more repeating. In Utah, the opportunity is big but focused. In Utah County alone, there are over 500 barbershops and salons. If I acquire just 10% of that market, that is 50 clients, which will mean over $15,000 in monthly recurring revenue. That's what makes this attractive, and it's a focused, reachable market. On top of that, Apex has an advantage because it's built specifically for how these businesses actually operate. It's not a generic system to answer questions. Apex is built to retain the customer and bring in more revenue. Apex has already moved from idea to product to paid plans. Now it's time to scale. Thank you.
Justin, very, very cool. There's a lot of folks diving into the AI space. I love to focus on salons and barbershop. A lot of times we think we can go out and do everything for everyone. So congrats on focus. Curious if you looked outside of the Utah County, saw the county markets, because it's a big marketplace. If you look at how you expand beyond,
It's massive. Well, I'm, gotta take it step by step, of course, but I've, of course, seen the numbers over there, especially in the Salt Lake County. Those numbers are high for salons and barbershops. And so my first step is to, I want to get through everybody in Utah County, and then I'll expand to different, counties. Next would probably be Salt Lake. That's the one I've looked into most other than the Utah County, of course.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What would you do with $20,000?
Well, $20,000, it's a lot of money, but I have the time. First, I would invest in better computers. AI, as you know, is very high in processing with computers, right? And so I would need to invest in better computers. That's a lot of money, right, to invest in computers. After that, I would also invest in cloud code. That's a couple $1,000, but it would make my receptionists even better than they are now. And it would just boost the customer quality, right? The quality of the customer experiences. And then after that, I would invest a lot into marketing and sales, running ads and just getting this product to sell to all those barbershops. So that's what I would do with the money. Yeah.
So who is helping you with run your operations? Is it just you?
This is just me currently. What's beautiful about this business is that other than coding, since I already have it built for a specific niche, right? It's basically a template I'm using. And so for each client I'm acquiring, it takes me around 30 minutes to 1 hour to build on the receptionist. And then after that, the only thing I really have to deal with is if the receptionist, misses something or messes up, I'll fix that. But honestly, it's pretty easy to run myself. The only thing in sales, it's harder to get go and sell it out there, but it's very doable for one person right now, currently as we are right now. Yeah.
What about an AI, cybersecurity? How are you approaching that?
So yeah, these are used by big platforms. So the platforms I use are N88 and BAPI. These platforms are actually built to build receptionists, but they already have all that, cybersecurity stuff integrated into them. And so what I just did was tailor it specifically for barbershops and salons.
Final question. Can you make it answer in a British female voice?
I can make it bilingual. I can make that shit.
How about a pushy New Yorker?
Yeah, I can for sure do that. I can
With profanity.
I can make it answer. I can make it answer in your voice actually. So, yeah. But, so, any more questions?
Not
Thank you, Justin. That's incredible. Next up is Abril and Santiago Cuevas.
Hello, everyone. My name is April. I'm Sparkler Santi.
That's Arun.
Today, we're here to present our authentic Argentinian food business called Lanegrita Empanadas. So, about our business. Our business is based on authentic Argentinian food, culture, and tradition. Our food comes from our great-great-grandmother, and we sell authentic, fresh ingredient-based meat-filled empanadas. Our focus is on the expert students and families, and we're trying to implement the cuisine into the American diet. For the marketing, for social media, we're going to be mostly focused on social media because in this way, we're able to promote our farmers market presence, our schedules, and also sharing our products, building that brand awareness. Therefore, testimonial, we're going to be doing word of mouth marketing, which is pretty much just telling our customers to share with us who they trust, building that strong connection and relationship. Then for the farmers market, we're going to be, since we're from Rexburg, Idaho, there's a farmers market back there that we are able to share our empanadas and get more customers.
For operations, right now we don't have any employees. It's just me and my sister operating this. And we manage the baking and frying, the sales, the packaging, the delivery, the purchases, the accounting, everything, the dough mixer. And we do not have a fixed income, so we just share all of our profits based on our sales. And we're not hiring currently until we have a food truck. We'll hire between 2 and 4 people and pay them $15 an hour. And for finance, a revenue model is we So one empanada is for $5, half a dozen for 25, and a dozen for 40. Our variable cost, the price of one empanada is approximately $1.50, and the packaging cost is $117. Comes from the boxes, square paper, and the stickers. Our fixed cost, it will mostly come from the rental of a booth at the farmers market and rental of a commercial kitchen, which is inspected and follows the FDA. Our gross margin, for one empanada, we make $3.50. For half a dozen, we make 16, and a full dozen, we make $22.
So for startup cost, it comes from our generator, our gas, our toaster oven, our cleaner, our tables, our display warmers, our pens, and our aluminum trays, coming up to a total cost of $1,058.
For our future growth plan, our startup, to have to be able to set up the farmers market, we will need to have partnered out with Righteous Lights, which is a really successful store back in Wexbury. We will need to have a food handling permit, have a business license, and a temporary food establishment permit. For early growth to have our own kitchen, we will need to have we will need to rent a commercial kitchen. We will need to serve regularly and follow more legal parts.
Then for short-term growth, we are trying to successfully introduce our empanadas to the farmers market, and as well to attract nonprofits to be able to rent a commercial kitchen, and also enabling us to make health profits.
Our long-term goal is to have a brick-and-mortar store also selling authentic Argentine empanadas made with fresh ingredients. The cost of a food truck, so it will be between $90,000 and $130,000, and this will include all the kitchen appliances, the ingredients, the payment methods, everything, and we will be selling at the BYU at downtown Wexford events such as farmers market and any weddings or anything, and we will be working on weekdays from 9 in the morning until 11 in the morning until 9 p.m. and on Saturdays from 9 in the morning till 9 p.m.
Then something that we need to be successful is, of course, keeping the legal part, is having a food truck permit, then having a business license, a commercial kitchen, and a health inspection approval. Then to be successful, we need a simple menu, like we already said, we're focusing on empanadas for now, and then having fast service, meaning that our empanadas can be done in not more than 7 hours. Then is students, families focused, and
Our SWOT analysis. Our strength is that we sell authentic Argentinian food. We don't have any direct competition, and it's a family business. Opportunities is partnering out with Righteous Lights. As I said, they're very successful, and they're #1 restaurant in Westwood, Idaho. And we'll be selling in the farmers market. We'll be promoting ourselves in social media. And our weaknesses, we might struggle with time management between high school and our business. Threats, it's just maybe some people might confuse our food with other countries. And also weather fluctuations, because Rex were at other ones with weather.
So you're basically relying on food truck sets.
so right now what we're trying to do is introducing our food to the farmers market, and from there working our way out to a food truck, and then having a brick and mortar store.
As a limited market with a food truck, because you only have so, especially in Rexburg, you only have a limited amount of months of the year. You are having a buying to food trucks to eating school, the good one, the bad one, they're not interested. So how are you going to bridge that time?
Well, our food is really good in every weather. It's really comfortable. It's very good for eating when it's cold outside. It's good when it's summer.
I realize that empanadas are great in winter and summer, but people do not go to food trucks in the winter. Very limited. I mean, some do, but most of the time it's summer only.
Right, that's why we are also working with social media, and you can order online if we're not having a food truck available in those times. So
The way I like that online, will you deliver the product fresh or frozen?
well, none of our products are frozen. They're all fresh. And to be ordered, you have to order them at least a day and a half, at least a day in advance. And how do you handle those deliveries on our site and in your comments that you said right now? It's just the two of you and you're handling the delivery. So in that range, if you go to online orders, how do you keep that manageable? So we are doing deliveries in the export area for now, and then we're charging up to $20 for when we do deliveries.
All I can say is I did a search, which is better, Argentinian or Mexican food, and they say when it comes to beef like meat products, you are superior. So congratulations. It says Argentinian cuisine is a paradise for meat lovers. Wow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abril and Santiago. Those look delicious. Now presenting Cooper Benson.
Everybody. Judges, today we were in a time of convenience where we have groceries, food we need in our car, even open our car doors. The question is, why not fuel? I'm Cooper Jensen. I'm an entrepreneur for Cache Valley, and I'm the founder and designer of Westwood Fuel. In Cache Valley, we have farmers, agriculture, construction workers, and individuals everywhere, but we do not have a small-scale fuel delivery business. This means individuals have to leave job sites and stop their equipment and schedule times to go to the fuel company, fuel up. This wastes time, this wastes money. The solution, Western Fuel wants to take away the hassle while the program will come to you. We make it as easy as someone going to the app or website, put in what type of fuel, how much fuel, where they want it delivered. We bring it right to them, whether it's a business or somebody stranded on the side of the road. Our business model is simple. Our revenue streams come from the per gallon markup on fuel as well as a fuel delivery fee. And for individuals that need recurring services like farms with construction workers, we also offer subscription plans. We want to accomplish this in three phases. In phase one, we want to start the 100-gallon pickup. This allows us to serve a local area and keep the costs of DOT licensing down. This means having a low overhead. It allows us to create brand recognition and make sure there is actually a demand in this market. So we can build our revenue. And once revenue is stable and we're bringing it in, we're going to a 500-gallon truck. This means that we can get bigger contracts and serve a larger area of individuals. And in this phase, we'll also move on to wholesale fuel sourcing instead of retail, allowing us to make lower prices of our fuel and being more friendly with more customers. After this, based on our customer is set up, and this based on our business is set up, we can expand to leasing and sale on tanks as well as gas cans, and we fill them for our customers. Westwood Fuel isn't just a service, it's a local solution for a local problem. We have a really high demand for this market as well as the first mover advantage. And it is building trust and like customers that race because get opportunity for this business. So what do you say? Will you help me fuel the future of Cache Valley and keep it moving?
taken off the rate. Curious, competitive. What makes you different, right? I've heard of fuel delivery in the past. Is it just cash value when you see this opportunity? What really sets you apart from else to this?
In Cache Valley, there is the biggest competition we have is another fuel company called Amped Fuel, which is also focused on the fuel delivery, but they're more of commercial, so they're delivering into businesses and stuff. Where I will be both business as well as residential. And in Cache Valley, we don't have a lot of that available, especially at an affordable price.
If you had a big fuel truck, let's say a 3,000 gallon fuel truck, could you crush some of it? Could you destroy your competition quickly in Cache Valley?
Well,
The reason why I've got a 3,000 gallon fuel truck that's just been sitting since the beginning of the pandemic that I bought just because I thought we were going to be in an apocalyptic zombie mess. We ought to talk.
So with that, the size that we were going with, like the smaller takes, it is simply because of regulations and the licensing that I would have to get. The 3,000 gallon tank would be helpful certain situations, not say like if you were delivering fleets of vehicles for businesses, but residentially, the smaller vehicles is why we're focusing on that.
What's your markup right now with the cost of fuel deliveries? I'm sorry, I'm most money.
The cost of fuel right now and how it is, and we would probably be looking at up from 50 to 75 cents over the retail price it is right now to simply make a profit off of it, as well as the delivery fees depending on where you are in the valley.
Scale or determine delivery fees and location.
Since we are, and it's simply me driving, they're starting out, and we are based in Richmond, and it's set to a big distance that we're having to travel with that. So, what city you're in, like, what we based on your fees off of.
Thank you, Cooper. I know I've been stranded a couple times, so like you're definitely helpful. Our next presenter of the night is Vince Witt.
My name is Vince Witt, and I just want to say thank you so much for letting me be here and having this opportunity to present. I also want to give a little shout out to my dad for teaching me everything I know. All the pictures used in this slideshow are jobs I've actually done and currently working on. This picture in particular was a house using a Park City showcase of homes, and I did the landscaping from start to finish. Let me continue to tell you why I'm qualified to build this business. I have 7 years experience in landscaping, 4 years professionally. I've worked on several multi-million-dollar homes, and I've handled everything from the first meeting with the client to line up your clock at the end so it's done right the first time. And this is not just an idea, I have numbers to prove this. In 2025, I had just under $230,000 in revenues, and that left me with a profit of just over $50,000. And it doesn't stop there. 2026 is already shaping up to be great. So far, I have a gross revenue of $160,000 this year, and I'm projected to book just under $500,000 in revenue. By the end of the year, it should leave me with a profit of about $105,000. These numbers are going to continue to grow as I shift my focus towards artificial turf and xeriscape landscaping because of a challenge here in Utah. As you guys know, we did not receive a part day of snow this year. The snowpack was minimal. And therefore, 98% of the state's in drought. And everyone's becoming concerned with what we're going to do with our lawns this summer. The state sees this problem, and they're working with landscapers like me with a solution. State and local programs are offering up to $3 per square foot for lawn replacement, whether that's artificial turf or xeriscape landscaping. That means that the state's hiring homeowners to hire you. I've talked with homeowners and home builders in southern Utah, and in certain HOAs, you're not even allowed to have a traditional lawn anymore. You have to have artificial turf or xeriscape landscaping. And with water restrictions increasing, I think that trend is going to move upstate. Therefore, I'm just going to be forced to buy what I offer. Another reason why turf makes sense is where traditional lawn has a lower upfront cost, it keeps costing you more and more every year with water bills and maintenance. Whereas artificial turf, it has that higher upfront cost, but by year 4.5, you'll break even. And by year 10, you'll save $20,000. While I'm shifting my focus, I'm also growing my business. I want to target 10 to 15,000 square foot jobs. I want to double my employees from 4 to 8. I want to install artificial turf on homes, on smaller homes and vacation homes that want a low maintenance, hassle-free yard. I'm becoming the turf expert by attending a 3-month paid internship where I'm learning commercial grade techniques and the ins and outs of business so that I can gain referrals from other legacy companies that aren't able to do it themselves. This is about that training. I'm going to be going to LA with a company called Shaw Grass and working for free, and I have to pay for my living. That's what the 10,000 is for. And if I win tonight, I'm gonna use it for marketing as well as purchasing equipment. So who's ready to invest in a proven business and a proven leader?
It's great work. Curious, I've recently put in a yard, it's part glass, part turf. Tell me a little bit about that the state's paying you to go out and replace my grass. I want to know more about that. What does that mean?
So there's rebates, and you can just get online and fill them out, or I can fill them out for you. And pretty much if you have a lawn that's using irrigation water and wasting water, then the state wants to stop that. And so you prove that you replaced your lawn and they'll send you a check. Very cool. Yes.
So I'm going to ask this question, and I already know the answer because I talked to you up front. But it's a huge piece of what I was interested in, and that is that right now you're showing all this profit.
Yes.
So you're using your dad's equipment. What about your equipment? How do you finance the purchase of $200,000 worth of equipment?
I'm out. So right now I'm renting it. I'm not just using it for free. But I've been saving money since I was little, as well as you asked me the question on a loan. I did the math for that loan where about a percent profit margin in a realistic loan would be about $4,000 a month for 5 to 7 years. And about 10% interest, then I did the math and I should be good. So I can apply for a loan as well as just use the money I'm making and saving and just once I have enough money, buy my own equipment and keep renting my dad's, or take out a loan and buy it yourself.
What is your supply out for the product itself, and where do you store it?
So it's a company called Shawgrass, and I have a friend, his name is Dale Henderson, and he owns Sports West Construction. They're one of the largest turf distributors in the world. And I work with them, so whenever I need turf, I call them up, and then we go down to their supply store, and I pick it up, and then I go install it.
So is that a relationship that's ongoing, or what's the supply and demand look like if your clients, you start filling in clients versus what they've got on under their like?
Yeah, so they said they could set me up as an independent contractor where I then actually did a dealer for them. So I could keep all the stuff in my shop, and then I could actually sell it to other contractors as well. So there's a big opportunity there to scale even more.
Thanks, Vince, for that over presentation. Next we'll have Hunter Sonia.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. My name is Humper Saunier. I'm the founder of Bimbo's Cleaning Services. Our mission statement is to help homeowners feel proud of their property through clean trash cans, cleaner spaces, and dependable services. Some problems I solve is I help prevent bagging, fly, and roach buildup in your trash cans, along with eliminating the unpleasant odors that come with having a trash can and dumping tons of trash into it. The trash can is one of the main staples of your home, given that you put it out at least once a week. So everybody in the neighborhood sees it, and it's almost in representation of who you are. If you have a dirty trash can, if it escapes a lot, then you're probably not the cleanest person. So I try and help you create a good environment neighborhood and keep a good reputation for me. Customer segment, I try and go for only suburban neighborhoods because they typically have houses you own multiple trash cans, whereas I can make a higher profit. My target client would be a female because they are typically the owner of the household and they are the ones to keep it clean and do all the maintenance. Along with somebody who is the age of 55 because they are more likely to be close to retirement, have a ton of money saved up, and have some to set aside for me to do work for them that they can't do themselves. I also try to shoot for dual income households, whereas they will have the extra money to give to me to do some of the work that they obviously don't want to do themselves. For my marketing, I use social media on Instagram. I post before and after clips of trash cans. I use my connections to get more of my posts out there saying that I'm going out cleaning on certain days. I also use business cards, which I put on the trash cans so people can see that the trash cans are dirty and want to call me, along with word of mouth where, say, I go clean a little old lady's house. And she was just so amazed by the excellent job I did. So she's going to walk her way to the little book club and tell her other ladies, oh my gosh, such a nice, young, handsome man came by and cleaned my trash cans. He did such a great, quick job. And then they're all going to want to come to me to do their trash cans as well. This is my revenue and expenses. So far, I've made a total net income of about $505 and a total income of around $1,000. The main costs will come from all my startup costs from the household gloves up. That's all I needed to get started. And since then, I've been able to basically rely on all of this stuff for the past 3 months, meaning I hardly ever have to buy any new products, cleaner, or anything like that, meaning it generally costs me almost nothing. My SWOT analysis, I use a low-cost strategy where most of my opponents are charging $30, $40, sometimes $50 just to clean one trash can, compared to where I charge $20 a trash can. If you notice on a couple slides back with my revenue and expenses, I make on average $25 a trash can, meaning almost everybody I do gives me at least a $5 tip for how well my services are done. I also have a great reputation around town, get my name around the public a lot, and so I'm very popular and people are more likely to see my name and want to help me out. I'm also willing to do work that other people don't want to do themselves, such as lawn care, pulling weeds, and trash cans. One of my weaknesses is I can't carry out trash. I have no way of disposing of my dirty water, and I am currently in school, but almost done. With the weaknesses, as soon as I give me a trailer and a proper aesthetic, I'll be able to carry out my own trash along with disposing of the dirty water, bringing it to treatment facilities, and making sure that it is completely taken care of. So my opportunities is in my area. I have absolutely no competitors, and so far I haven't heard anybody in a while that's done any business like me. So my threat stand is it's a relatively low barrier to entry. I did start this business off with a cheap pressure washer, a small spray model of cleaner, and I was able to make enough money in that first day to buy all of my starting stock. With the money from the business, I plan to buy a trailer, which can help me make this process go from a 20-minute job all the way down to a 10, maybe 5-minute job. Because right now, with my current setup, I have to go hook up water along with electricity, which takes about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the house. Along with that, I hope to bring higher quality jobs with the heated pressure washer, which would help me do a greater cleaning on the trash cans because I'd be able to get rid of the debris in the trash cans and all the bacteria and stuff a lot easier. Along with getting my own water tanks so I can both carry in water and carry water out. And with that, I thank you guys for listening to my presentation. And is there any questions? I got one. What do you currently do with the water? Right now, I have no way of getting rid of it, so I try and keep all my water as far away from grass and anything that it could harm as possible. I usually do at the end of driveways, so it just runs down the drain, but this can all be prevented once I get a trailer and a bucket is all I have.
What's your scalability? Is it just going to be you, and for how long? In a year from now, if that's spending, how will you find your success?
A year from now, I hope to gain my own company truck, whereas I can have employees drive that to them do jobs. I can have non-certain schedules as long as me doing subscription with my services. But people who are really caring about getting their trash cans cleaned, they can hire me through a service and I can send employees out every month. But right now, I'm just using my own personal truck. So I don't want people taking my truck and going to work. So I know, but
There, said it. The Boy Scouts in my neighborhood did this for a project. I loved it so much. I called them back and I said, would you come back again? No one wanted to come back. No one wanted to do this project again because they hated it. It was so sticky, so dirty. But like, so hats off, but you're actually willing to do this. My question is though about marketing piece. I think that that's one of your biggest barriers is that marketing. Since yes, that lovely lady is going to walk down, but I think your target market kind of missing a little bit is that older people who don't have kids at home and can't clean their own things. So, and they're not online as much. So how are you going to grow it? How are you going to overcome that?
So in my town, as of right now, I purchased those cards. These are more of like a experience. I haven't done anything like them before, but I just go around on dump days. As soon as you get trash can done, I'm gonna go take one of my business cards on the lid of your trash can. So when they go out there to go get their trash can, they're gonna walk up, see a business card, and it's gonna say Ben Rose Cleaning Services, and they're gonna look in their trash database. Man, that looks disgusting. Let me call this number on there and get your scheduled dish clean. Along with that too, we have a pretty big radio station nearby called Jack FM. And I'd like to get on there, maybe sponsored through them or get on there and talk myself. Because like you said, a lot of old people, they don't go out much. And I know they like to keep sometimes radios or they don't like CarPlay or other things like that. So our big radio station will help me reach out to that wider audience, along with maybe putting flyers in businesses. I had thought about needing some at my golf course where I'm more likely to make a big profit. And that's when I primarily raise some of my marketing.
Are you saying that because your target focus is 55-year-old females, that they are either dirtier or cleaner? What does your research show? Like,
realistically, it's the husbands that are going to be coming here. So
okay.
They're going.
Yeah, the females, the wives are saying is take care of this for me.
They're going to notice it more. And then they're going to tell their husbands to go clean it, which.
And the husbands are paying, so they won't do it.
They're not going to do it because they don't pay.
Well,
The wife calls me and says, hey, my husband doesn't want to clean. You don't want to come by? So.
Thank you, Uncle. That's a great idea.
That was amazing, everyone. Thank you all for coming, and make sure you go watch their favorite presentation with the these are top and submit, but in 4 minutes.
Okay, I think finishing up our voting, I was asked to give a few comments quickly, and I have to tip my hat to all of these competitors tonight. And I guess I'm speaking on behalf of the judges here and would welcome any of their comments. But listening to these incredible entrepreneurs with their business plans and looking at their startup mentality reminds me of a famous quote by Elon Musk, who is my favorite entrepreneur right now. He stated, starting a company is like staring into the abyss and eating glass. After a while, you stop staring, but the glass chewing never ends. He often describes building a company as a painful process, requiring high resilience, focusing on fixing critical, unpleasant problems. People often ask me, what is the key to success in business? And I often say, the key to success is being willing to do this crap that nobody else wants to do, and becoming a subject matter expert at that particular area of focus. And it doesn't matter what business, you just have to love it to some degree, and you have to become the subject matter expert. You have to have and develop proprietary insight and be willing to, as Elon Musk said, be willing to eat glass and stare into the abyss. What an incredible group of young people. I'm inspired by the future. If this is an indication of what we have coming in our next chapters of society, I'm encouraged. This is awesome. Anything else? Anyone else want to add to this? It's pretty awesome.
Quickly add, congratulations, you guys. It's pretty amazing. You live in the greatest country in the world that gives you these opportunities. Keep going, right? If this isn't the one, go again. I've started probably 30 companies in my life. Most of them died painfully. I ate a lot of glass. I still ate some glass. So congratulations. Recognize the opportunities for what they are, because they're awesome. You can do this. So good work.
And I'm surely impressed with each of the presentations tonight. They were all well thought and prepared, and exciting to see where you'll each go. I know I'll follow you in the future, but don't give up. Keep chasing your dreams and you'll make things happen. Congratulations.
The Lord's take note that Brenda talked about. You have to be willing to do what no one else can do. And in my business, in the catering world and food service and hospitality, that was really true. I did every job that there was, and I was never above any of it, even up to the day I retired. But I started 4 companies in my life. The first 2 failed. The last 2 were hugely successful. And so don't be afraid to fail. That's my piece to you. They oftentimes ask me when I do an interview with somebody, what would you tell your 16-year-old self? My 16-year-old self was a total agenda, let alone failing. That was like the worst possible thing I ever could have done. But then when I failed twice, I realized, that wasn't so bad. And when I learned that failure number 1 allowed me to go to number 2, and when I learned number 2, skyrocketed me. So don't be afraid to fail. Stop not being perfect. Just stop reading your best today.
Final word, and I just want to emphasize what David said, which is so true. We forget, we take for granted. We live in the most incredible time, in the most incredible country that the world has ever seen. Free capitalism is alive. Anyone can make it. And I would say anyone can do anything today. The barriers to entry in business are actually easier and lower than ever because of technology. And we need to protect entrepreneurs and free capitalism. We need to protect our way of life. And we need to be able to reward those who are willing to take risks and work their guts out.
So, voting is now closed. Thank you for coming, and we will go ahead and get the results. In the meantime, we'll present a few videos from our past winners. Here are Ashley Frost, Noah Lake, and Adam Sunke. Hi guys, my name is Ashley Frost. I was the sort of story, that's the center for my business, I stories. Let's just go because I'm when I was in second grade, I wrote this poem for our class, and we were saying that all these years. We always talked about turning it into sun. Type pool look or a children's look. So my sense really get your version. And not deal with just all I was I wanted to focus on children's costume and public kids. So it's probably nothing close to my field experience. But definitely taught me the power of media. I do love it. I have to write books, but I also do open business. And then that I do need to make the partners. It's just from other kids, and it's very fun with the books. Next level to the illustrations and policy. We hope to publish some it's on street design and our very good website. We can after ourselves. So all the investors, all the company people are creating it's amazing. So much for blending it. Just get by 80%. It's your dreams are that what's this heals to not really exclusive. I'm dying.
Hey, what's up? A chick I goes, my name's Noah. And what do you do? I started the videos go. A family video editing. It takes a digital service. So my family discovered that we had so much media that we gathered over the last 20 years about family going out to the almost off the venture. It was just sitting there. So what we started doing is they started going year by year and they take annual highlight videos. So they became a tradition for us to sit down and watch all these videos together. So when I started my business, that was my mission. To bring that to the lives of other families. That was super awesome. And how were you able to do that? Well, I originally started a couple of years ago and through the help of InvestNest, an awesome program that helps student entrepreneurs achieve all of their goals. I was able to grow and scale my business to the point it got acquired. I think InvestNest did a lot of amazing things to our business. Number one, obviously the funding really helps me. With cake digitizing, there's a lot of equipment that's involved. So luckily, I was able to invest in more equipment. I was able to get more systems involved so I could accept more clients. And ultimately, I also scale my business to the point where I could get acquired. But a lot of the other things also came from non-monetary things, like the amount of people that I met from investments, the amount of public attention that I got before doing them. A lot of people coming out and asking you what your business is and networking through the fact that you want investments. A lot of that is all about the people, because it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And investments definitely helps you with that. If you're a student entrepreneur, go ahead and check out investments at investments.org.
Hi guys, it's Adam Saki, winner of Watch Section Best in the United States. I own my company Merge Far. It's an active sportswear company that is still in multiple stores in Wasatch County today. And I'm super excited to get the new drop close out here soon. Should be good. Investments have helped me in so many ways that's super critical to my success. First of all, it's surrounding me with people that have checked me out to help me push along and try to find opportunities with Burst Fire and also other business ventures in my career. But also, the best steps is helping get business minded, excited for what I can do to create opportunity now and in the future for me and my family as around me. Super excited for this year and competition. It's going to be awesome. Thank you guys so much.
How are we doing back there? Votes coming. All right, you guys have a good time tonight? My name is J.W. Davies. I'm one of the founders of Davies Allen. It's a CPA firm, and we started the InvestNest 9 years ago. We started InvestNest to awaken the entrepreneurial spirit of our youth. We think that Utah is an exceptional place. It's a unique place. It's a place where the founders, the starter, all of our pioneer ancestry, they knew how to work, they knew how to create, they knew how to be able to be self-sufficient and self-sustaining. And we think that's unique to the state. You're holding it's unique to state of So we want to thank a couple of schools for this provided our role with us today. InvestNest is will be in our 10th year next year. Next year, we're expected to hit over $1 million of money that's been donated by business owners. So we're really excited about next year. It's going to be super awesome. We hope that each of you participate and continue just to provide this awesome support that you have up to this point. We continue to expand over the last 9 years, and we'll hope to just continue to reach more students. I want to thank these judges. They've been so helpful, amazing. We're all busy, so I know it's your time is very, very valuable. And for you to choose the UFS here tonight, is honestly just a really a huge compliment. So thank you guys so much. So without letting you give away $40,000, I think those checks will be coming out here soon. I'm going to go back there and check on them. So let's just hold tight for a minute. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Like me, I have a bridge. So,
All right, you're ready to announce our winners? In third place, okay, all of our contestants. In third place, winning $7,500 is Abril and Santiago. Like that.
Our second place winner, winning 12,000. Sorry, I got double check. Hang on. $12,500 is Luke Liusey. On our first place
is Witt. It has been such an amazing event. Big thanks to our judges. Thank you to America First, Davies Allen, Industry Foundation, and Tandem Ventures for making this all possible. And to you, our audience. We wouldn't have this event without your support. We would now like to invite judges and contestants to take some photos on stage, after which family and friends can come out. Thank you all so much.